Can I help you, miss?
Yes, I hope you can. I left my purse on the bus this morning with my passport in it.
OK. Let me get some more details down here, and I'll see if we can help. What's your full name?
Anne-Marie McMurphy. That's capital M, C, and another capital M, U, R, P, H, Y.
And your street address?
202 C, Glendale Road, Glevendale.
How do you spell Glevendale?
Glevendale.
And you say you lost your passport. Do you have a photocopy of it? Or do you know your number?
Yes, I have a photocopy. Here it is. My number is RF3313674.
And about what time did you leave your purse on the bus?
I caught the 7:45 bus, but I got off between 8:15 and 8:30. I have to be at work by 8:30 every morning, and my head was already in the office thinking of things I would have to do when I just got off and forgot my purse.
OK. Well, it happens to all of us at least once. Do you remember the number of the bus you were on?
Yes, it was the 808. Usually I take the 804, but today I was coming from a friend's house, and it was more convenient to ride the 808.
Thanks. Have you called the Greyhound Bus Company yet to report this?
Yes, I did that right away, but they also said I should fill out a police report with you in case someone turned it in with the police.
Yep, that's the smart thing to do. Was there anything else of value in the purse?
Nothing other than the contracts I was working on for work. But it would be nice to get those back as well.
No money?
No, I keep that in my pocket.
Hey Joe, did I hear you taking info on a lost purse?
Yeah. Why'd you ask?
Well, you won't believe this, but someone just turned in a lost purse with a passport in it that was left on the 808 bus this morning.
Well, Anne, it looks like you're in luck today.
Table completion.
How can I help you, sir?
Hi, I'm interested in renting an apartment in your building. Can you show me around inside?
Sure, my pleasure. Do you know what kind of apartment you're looking for?
I'm thinking of something for my best friend and I. The apartment doesn't have to be too big, just something comfortable for the two of us. I'm looking for a kitchen, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, just something simple.
OK, well, let me show you what we have to offer. We divide our apartments into 3 categories. There are standard apartments, upgraded standard apartments, and luxury apartments. Please follow me. This apartment just went up for rent yesterday. The old tenants moved into a larger one. This apartment is what I call the standard apartment. It's small, but has everything you need. The kitchen comes with a refrigerator, an oven, and a stove. There is 1 bathroom with a shower, but no bathtub. The rooms are a good size, and both have their own closets. The living room has enough space for a couch. We will provide a television for you. These apartments are very popular with students because they are affordable and practical. Right now, we are renting these out for only $1,000 a month.
I think this is a little bit on the small side. There's no space for a dining table or even for an extra desk. We will both need room to study. If there are guests over, we hope to be able to have a dining table big enough for at least 4 people. Do you have anything slightly larger, Maybe just an apartment with a bigger living room?
Well, let's take a look. Right now, we also have an opening for a luxury apartment. This apartment is larger. It has 3 bedrooms, and all 3 are larger than the last one. And there are 2 bathrooms, and all have bathtubs. The kitchen is also larger, and come with an additional dishwasher and freezer. The living space has plenty of space for a dining room.
How much is the rent on these apartments?
These are more expensive, usually in the $2,500 range. Don't forget that there is an additional bedroom, so you could find another roommate to lower the cost.
I think that's a little bit on the expensive side. We don't really have the time to find another roommate, so it's probably better to stick with the 2-bedroom places. Is there anything between these 2?
Come with me. I can show you this apartment right now. But there are people living in it. There are no more of these kinds of apartments available at this moment. But if you decide that you like it, I can put you on the waiting list. And as soon as we have openings, you will be contacted.
Sure, let's take a look.
This is the upgraded standard apartment. As you can see, it's larger than the other 2-bedroom apartment. There are 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, 1 in each room. The living room comes with a television, but no furniture. The kitchen is around the same size as the other smaller apartment. The basic difference is the additional bathroom and larger living room. These rent for around $1,400.
Part 2. Sentence completion.
Once we've chosen a topic, what is the most important thing we should do?
I would say that the key thing is good initial research. Once you have a solid base, you can add to it, adapt it, or even take parts out if they are not relevant to your central theme. Peter, you're looking thoughtful.
I was wondering why so many students drop out.
It's hard to say, because the reasons students give may not necessarily be the real ones. I'd say that a lot of the time it's a lack of confidence, rather than academic inability or other pressures. It's hard to say, though. Perhaps help from friends, not academic so much as emotional, might have prevented these students dropping out.
Any other advice at this stage, Professor?
Work hard. Don't overdo it, though. Leave yourself some time to relax. We get many Asian students at this university who try to do too much. They end up getting confused and are too embarrassed to ask for help. Then they do the worst possible thing and just copy other people's work.
We'll bear that in mind. When shall we arrange our next tutorial for?
Do you want to come along together or separately?
What do you think, Kate?
I'm happy to come together.
Okay, how about in 2 weeks' time?
Wednesday the 30th? I'm afraid I'm not free.
Thursday 31st?
That's fine with me. Professor?
Yes, but only in the afternoon. Why don't we meet right after lunch at 1 o'clock?
Part 2. Note completion.
Now, Bill, what's your main concern?
Well, what really gets me down at present is that the exams are coming up and I don't feel confident.
I know you've spent a lot of time preparing, so let's look at the actual exam itself. No matter how much preparation you do, it doesn't really count if you don't plan how you will time yourself to ensure you get to answer all the questions. Usually there will be some guide on the exam paper that will tell you the relative importance of each question, its contribution to your total mark.
I see. So if I feel organised at the start, I can be more confident.
Exactly. So once you've worked out an overall plan, and this can be done quickly, you need to make sure you know what each question is asking you to do. As a marker, I know what answers I expect to a question. Then you need to address the question, not just write down what you know and hope the marker will appreciate the hard study you've done.
Yes, that's important. I can see that markers are looking at the questions, not trying to guess what we know.
Yes. And the third point to keep in mind is that even if you know the topic well, you should leave time to go back and check your work for content. There may be an important point you have missed, or not explained as much as you wanted to. And at the same time, you can look for errors, including any obvious ones in grammar.
Okay, thanks. It's really simple in many ways, isn't it?
Part 3. Summary completion.
Catching the crocodile to fit the cylinder, too, is a risky operation. It is done at night from a boat. We drift quietly among the crocodiles, and the one selected according to size is blinded with a strong spotlight. Using a long pole, a steel cable noose is slipped over its head. The crocodile dives down, tightening the noose around its head and dislodging the cable from the pole. We let it struggle for about 5 minutes to tire sufficiently for us to drag it onto the shore. The first priority is to get its head under control and to tie its jaws shut. We also tie the feet. It takes at least 4 people to do the job. The important thing is not to get head-butted or hit by its tail, especially when it is pulled from the water. We don't use a tranquilizer. We don't want to risk the crocodile getting attacked by others while recovering from sedation. 4 holes are drilled into the bony scales behind the head, and surgical steel wire is used to attach the cylinder. It takes about 10 minutes to complete the operation, and for the crocodile to be set free again. The GPS operates from a battery which will give 5 readings a day for 2 years. To save power, only switches on when sending and receiving information at set times. The unit also has an onboard logger that can store 2,000 position readings. Therefore, no readings are lost while the crocodile is out of range.
Part 3. Short answers.
Hi, Lisa. How are you? You look a little puzzled.
Hi, Simon. I am. You're familiar with the campus, aren't you? I can't figure out where anything is.
Well, let me give you a hand then. Which places do you need to know?
First, I need to know where the library is. I haven't registered yet.
All right. You know where the North Gate is, don't you?
Yes, it's up that way, about 200 metres.
Sorry, Lisa. I'm afraid it's in that direction, and it's about 500 metres away.
Well, that begins to explain why I can't find anything. So, the South Gate.
North. Then it's a little towards the West Gate. You can't miss it, because it's really big and has a large sign on it.
OK, I'll take your word for it. The second place I need to find is the Sports Centre.
That's in the southwest part of the campus. It's easy to see because there's the outdoor athletics stadium nearby.
OK, next I need to know where Churchill Building is. That's where I have my lectures tomorrow.
That's back by the library. You know the building, the McDonald building, where our department is?
Yes, that's right by the East Gate, isn't it?
Right. Well, the Churchill building is opposite. Well, almost opposite that.
Not that small building directly opposite.
No, the larger one beside it.
Got it. OK, last one. Where's the cafeteria? I know it's next to the bookshop.
And can you see the bookshop?
Well, hang on. It's right there, here in the centre of the campus.
A great central location, if you ask me.
What time is the library open?
It's open from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m.
And the cafeteria?
8 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Is that every day? Someone said that it isn't open so long at the weekends.
No, it's every day.
And the sports centre?
Now, if I remember rightly, that opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 9 p.m. But the outdoor athletics field can only be used during daylight hours, since there's no floodlighting.
You play sports, don't you, Simon?
I do. I've signed up for the football team trials this coming weekend, and I was on the athletics team at school.
When are the trials? I don't play football, but I enjoy watching.
They're on Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. The organisers said that we should expect to be there until mid-afternoon, probably until around 3.
Well, I've got things to do in the morning, but I'll come along after lunch. I hope you survive until then.
So do I. I think that in the morning they'll be aiming to sort out the people with ability from the no-hopers. Then, in the afternoon, they'll be sorting out who's the best.
OK, well, good luck with that. I'll see if Leslie wants to come along.
OK, see you Saturday.
Part 4. Multiple choice with single answer and multiple choice with multiple answer.
Excuse me, I'm conducting a campus survey. Would you have time to answer a few questions?
What's it all about?
We're doing some market research for a new campus radio station starting in the next few months.
That's okay. Sounds good.
Great. I'll just work through this form with you. And if we could start with some personal background information?
Sure.
Right. If I could have your age, please.
26.
OK, good. And are you a student, teacher, or in another job?
Well, I'm a tutor, but I'm also a postgraduate student, so I don't know what you might call me.
What do you think?
OK, well, I'm more of a teacher, really.
Fine. And would you mind if I asked about your salary, or I could leave it blank?
No, that's OK. It's $20,000 a year.
Thanks. Right. Now about your current listening habits. What would you say is your main reason for listening to radio?
Well, I'm usually busy during the day at work, so I usually only listen to the radio at night. It helps me relax and unwind, even if I'm studying.
Good. And how many hours a day on average do you listen to the radio?
Well, not a lot really. I'd say just over an hour all told.
So what are the 2 main times of the day that you listen to the radio?
Well, for a little while around breakfast time, and then it tends to be later, after dinner, when I've finished any serious work I need to do.
And what sort of radio programmes do you like?
I like the news, but I also like classical music. It helps me to relax.
Fine. And turning to the new campus station, which type of programmes would you prefer?
I think the existing radio stations cater for my need for news. So I'd like to see programmes about local information, providing a service to the campus community. And in the same vein, perhaps more for academic viewers, some lectures or relevant programmes.
I see. And if you had to give the new director some specific advice when they set up the station, what would you tell them?
I think I'd advise them to be careful about the quality of the broadcasts. The sound system. There are a lot of radio stations and people can change their loyalty quickly if it doesn't meet their needs. I think they should do more of these kinds of interview too, talking with existing and potential customers.
Oh, I'm pleased you think it's useful.
Certainly, yeah.
Good. Now, this station will not be fully funded by the university, so how often do you think it is tolerable to have adverts?
I think, out of that list I'd say every quarter of an hour. Of course, that's providing they don't last for 10 minutes each time.
Oh, quite. And are you interested in attending any of the special promotions for the new station?
Yes, I'd be happy to, as long as they're held on the campus or nearby.
OK, I'll note that down. And finally, may we put you on our mailing list?
Well, I prefer not, except for the information about the promotions you just mentioned.
OK. Can I have your name and address?
Of course. I have a card I can give you.
Oh, great. And thanks a lot for your time, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Part 5. Matching.
I can believe that. Well, we have a good list to build on. We're finally getting started now, so let's try to figure out when each type of dog training should be used. I guess we can start by trying to figure out the best situation for each type of dog training.
What do you mean?
What I mean is whether each type of training should be used with different kinds of dogs. We could use basic obedience training, for example, and ask whether it's more useful for a small dog, a medium-sized dog, and so on. In this case, I'd say obedience training is best with small dogs, because they tend to get excited easily, and this will help keep them out of trouble.
OK, that makes sense.
Then let's look at physical training. Even though some people think it's ideal for every breed of dog, I think it's better suited to the larger kinds. Small dogs usually just aren't smart enough to understand the physical commands, and they can even get hurt from them. The specialised sniffing training is the same. I think they're better with the more intelligent breeds of dogs, and they're hardly ever useful with really small dogs. Attack training, however, can be useful for every kind of large dog, as long as the dog is treated well and given a lot of care and attention.
All right, and what about guard training? Barking is an ideal way for small dogs to guard a home. I know they aren't big enough to stop a person, but making some noise is often all a dog needs to do. Other kinds of guard training like biting, though, are different. I'd always plan to teach those to a smart dog, give them a chance to use their brains and defend their homes.
I'd have to agree. Trainers often just teach large dogs to bark at a person when they think something isn't right. But if they know how to use physical skills in a bad situation, they could save their owner's life someday.
Yes, I suppose that different people would have different needs for their pets.
Right, and different trainers would recommend different methods for different breeds.
Part 5. Map labeling.
So I have a couple of ideas about where we can eat lunch after church. There are a number of good places in town, but we should find a place where a lot of people can eat and they have a children's play area. Most people go to Ella's Deli, right across the street, but I think we should also consider going to the Olive Garden. That's just up the street to the right of the church to the first intersection. It's on the opposite corner. I love that place and it's next to a park as well. And then there's Maurice's. It's a little bit more expensive, but I actually like the kids' area they have the best. It's on the same block as the Olive Garden, just on the other side of the park. I actually prefer Maurice's. But we might have some students with us too, so a much more affordable place that could accommodate us all would be the Town and Grill, back down past the Harford shopping mall from Maurice's. You have to go left on King Street just a bit and it's on your right. It's next to Tom's, but Tom's doesn't have a children's play area.